I'm also joined by Hayden, or the Grey Fox.
Hello.
And I mean, that was Scott, but I'm also joined by Scott, as you can find him on Twitch. How's everyone's week's been? How you all doing, lads?
Yeah, good.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
So, how's everybody been? Anything interesting happened to anybody over the past week?
I've been, as usual, stuck indoors, I have been for the last 7 months. So
90% of the country. Yeah.
I did get a new ring light though, so hence why I'm looking a bit more HD.
Radiant. You're looking radiant.
Yeah.
Very radiant there, Mike. Vibrant.
Thank you. Thank you. I haven't got a tan, but I thought make people think I have to. So
It's got that Donald Trump fake tan.
Oh, let's
stuff.
not.
He's been rubbing that in, every night. It's that
not-
that bronzing moisturizer.
let's not associate me with that villain. Thank you very much.
Well.
How's your week been, Hayden?
Yeah, it's been pretty bit of same old. You know how it is, but So, I don't know if I know Bleach. I don't know if you guys know. I'm on Hinge now. A little bit of the old dating app, right? A little bit of the old Hinge.
Okay.
And nothing major to report on that front. But you do see some weird shit. People would lead with some weird shit on Hinge, right? Right. So, I don't know if you guys know how Hinge works, right? And or the audience. So I'll just give you a quick little brief run through here. But you'd like other dating apps like Tinder and shit. You set up your profile, you put your pictures on. But on Hinge as well, you have like these things called prompts, and they're meant to be just like little conversation startery things. So there'll be there's like 25 of them or something. You pick one, and it'll be a little question like, "Oh, what's your most irrational fear?" Or fucking, I don't know, my favorite weird fact, shit like that. And you're meant to answer it, and then when people see it on your profile, it's meant to be like conversation starter, right?
Right.
And then it's a bit different from like things like Tinder and stuff as well. Is that if you see somebody you like, you don't just swipe left or right to like their profile. You like either an individual picture or an individual prompt, and when you like that prompt, it gives you the opportunity to like leave a comment as well, and you can send that off, and then the other person can see you've liked this prompt with a comment, and then kind of just helps get conversation rolling, right?
It all sounds very complicated. I'll be honest. Like,
no, because it's easy. You just go.
I'm a Tinder man myself. Like with Tinder, it's very much
simple,
just
man.
a swipe, hope for the best. Oh, we're in. Hello, and they're gone. Like that's
It's just gives you an opportunity to lead with like a funny comment. So like people put things like my most irrational fear is spiders, for example, and you could comment on that then and just say, well, that's okay. I'm a pro spider catcher or some shit like that. You know what I mean, right?
Now, just help with like conversation starters.
Yeah, it's just meant to get the ball rolling with conversation a little bit, rather than just that you match with somebody and then it's like, well, okay, where do we go from here? You've got somewhere to start the conversation, right? So, I'm having a scroll through as you do, and I see this picture, this girl at the top, and I'm like, oh, she looks kind of cute. Oh, I'll have to scroll through, right? So I'm scrolling down, I'm checking out her prompts, and one of the prompts this girl has picked is things that are non-negotiable for me. Now, most people try and put something like funny in there, or just some like no nonsense shit. Put things like pineapple does go on pizza, or fucking if Titanic comes on, we have to stop what we're doing and sit down and watch it. They put shit like that. This girl had put things that are non-negotiable for me: DDLG relationships. Now I don't know about you boys. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. Right?
DDLG.
DDLG relationships.
Oh, honey.
I knew Bleach would know. I didn't know what the fuck that was. I had to Google that shit, right? So it turns out DDLG stands for Dom Daddy Little Girl relationships, right? Which, as I've learned, is like an age role play thing where the guy pretends to be like the older gentleman.
Well, that works for you. So.
And well, I'm a 60-year-old man basically. And the female pretends to be, a young girl, right?
Oh my god.
And I was like, holy shit, you're gonna lead with that. I was like, fuck me, this is not for me. Like, I'm like, holy fuck. Like, I don't know about you boys, right? Look, you're into what you're into, right? If you're into that, do what you want. If you're not hurting anybody else, you live your life how you want. I'm like, shit, that ain't for me. And you're gonna lead with that? Like, you're gonna just lead with that up front. Is that what you're gonna do? I don't know. Like,
I think that's a good thing. I think it's good to get out there straight away.
Wait, sorry, is this the same girl as the trans girl as well?
Yes. So this girl is also trans. Okay. I mean, I didn't bring it up. I didn't think it was particularly relevant to the story.
I just want to make sure if it was the same one as.
Yeah. But yeah, so I see that, I'm like, fuck. I was like, shit, like that's bold to lead with, and it's not for me. So I did what any self-respecting man would have done in this situation. I liked the prompt, and I left a comment that said, "I'll be your daddy." Just not 5 minutes ago. Just not 5 minutes ago, I got a notification that said we've matched, and she's responded with, "You will?" question mark. And now I don't know what to do. This was a joke, and it's got all out of hand. So I'll probably set up a date for next week.
I was gonna. The thing is, I was gonna say, like, I actually think fair play. Like, if that's the sort of thing she's into, like, I think it's a thing that not everyone's gonna be into, are they? So I think get it out there.
No.
Separate, so to speak, the men from the boys, and like just like, and you know. Yeah, it's at least out there. Like no one's gonna feel like this. She by putting it out there, she avoids situations.
When she comes out dressed as a 9-year-old, yeah, it's not gonna make things weird because you know it's coming.
But now, and I think what she's done is she's done it knowing there's probably a risk. There's going to be idiots like you who's going to go on there and think, well, this will be a laugh.
Separating the daddy from the boys.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So that's been your week then.
So what's gonna be the follow up then? Seeing that she just asked you for your will.
Fuck knows.
You're gonna be.
I didn't plan this far ahead, if I'm honest. I just thought it would be funny. I thought it'd be a funny story for the podcast, and now I'm going to end up with a wife who likes to pretend I'm her father. So
you dug yourself a hole there, mate.
Mate. That is.
We're going to have a flash forward, 4 years, and we're going to be like, how did we end up here? Like, well, I can tell you how we ended up here. If you go back on our YouTube channel to watch podcast 2.
Well, I am.
Oh.
So, Mummy, how did you meet Daddy? Well, first, he was my daddy.
Yeah, before he was your daddy, he was my daddy.
Wow.
We had that in common. We both call him Daddy.
After that particular bombshell, I don't really know how else to lead into the main topic of conversation for this week.
Yeah.
So I think we'll just go straight into it, because I think only way from that sort of point onwards is down, really, isn't there? So unless anyone else has had any interesting Hinge experiences they want to share for the rest of the group.
You, Bleach?
Yeah.
Why put me on the spotlight like that?
You're looking at it a bit suspect, like, oh, well.
Bleach sus.
Bleach is sus. Bleach is the imposter.
I mean, I don't know. One question I have come across this week, though, which I was really curious to hear about your guys' take on it. What is the biggest animal you think you could kill in hand-to-hand combat?
Just
100%
serious question.
I thought this was going to be like, oh, did you hit? I thought it was going to be like, oh, do you think that, I don't know, I thought it was going to be something actually like.
No, because the thing is, a lot of people say cow. You can't kill a cow. It is fast and it can take a punch. You aren't punching a cow.
Yeah.
The largest animal I could kill with my bare hands.
Yeah, you and this animal locked in a room together.
You said hand-to-hand combat. Is this unarmed combat? Because
yes, no weapons.
You give me blade. I reckon I'd do all right. I don't know if I could take a bear, but
No, yeah, bear's a big fight. Have you seen that documentary? The dude who thinks he's some sort of bear whisperer.
He lives with bears
and he tries to protect him. And do you know what happens to him? They fucking murder him.
Killed by a bear. What happens is the bears figure out that he's food, and they just fuck him up. Yeah.
What's the film with Leonardo in it, and he gets thrown around like a ragdoll for about 15 minutes?
Yeah. That I saw that film. That bear fucks him up. Like,
right.
Khabib McGregor fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how McGregor got completely fucked up by Khabib. Similar energy. Like,
what is the location of the fight? Like,
it's just like a blank room.
If I find a rock in a field,
no, you're in like a basketball court.
It's a cage match, okay? It's a cage match. Nothing else. Just you and this animal.
I think most large animals, like a donkey's not exactly a violent animal, but I think you'd have a trouble punching a donkey to death.
I think I could kill a goat. I could kill a good goat.
A goat's got a small enough neck. I think you could probably choke it out. If you could grab it, you could probably choke it out.
But plus, a goat is like the perfect height to where you could probably get like a nice sweeping kick to the side of the head.
Yeah, you could probably.
that's what I'm thinking. That's a nice fucking.
Yeah, that's a good point. The thing is, though, goats headbutt each other. They got hard heads. You're gonna fucking break your shin on that goat.
Aim for the temple, man.
You're gonna be like roundhouse crack, and that's gonna be your shin. You're gonna be, oh fuck.
But I reckon, in all honesty, I reckon a goat would probably be the biggest thing I
reckon
could
I could
take.
take a goat, yeah.
I feel like
Sheep,
yeah.
maybe.
Depends what kind of sheep. You get like a ram.
Yeah.
Serious damage to your shins.
Because
Again, you feel like you'd have to catch the animal and choke it out first.
Yeah,
That's the
that
thing.
or you have to
Having
have
beaten
some sort of
an
running
animal,
punch.
Fucking winding up, going, oh, come on, in you bastards.
Yeah, if you could find an animal with a weak neck,
Like a giraffe.
giraffe, yeah.
nah, they got beefy neck muscles, isn't it? And what I'm thinking is, if you find an animal with a weak neck and you punched or kicked it hard enough in the head, you break its neck.
Just
Like,
punch it in the
you
throat.
ain't breaking a giraffe's neck.
Just give it a solid throat punch and you'll be sorted.
Oh god. 30 minutes.
Bleach, we're back on him.
I would probably say a smaller animal. Then
I feel a goat is probably.
Yeah.
Goat's reasonable.
Yeah.
Goat's pretty reasonable.
I mean,
Sheep.
I'm sure the goat would get a good few hits in on me as well, but I think I'd come out on top.
I would pay to see that fight. I would definitely pay to see that fight.
I'd pay to be a part of that fight.
I know a bloke.
Yeah.
Free next week.
I'll pay
Goodness
good money
gracious
to
me.
fuck up a goat. They've had it too good for too long.
trying to think of animals the same kind of size, but
Yeah.
Bit more of a challenge. Yeah.
I think I feel like people always try to say cows, but have you seen
I
that
don't
video
know.
of that
I've
cow
never been
getting-
asked this question, to be honest with you, Bleach. So
Yeah.
But no, have you never seen that video of that cow getting pelted in the head by an apple? It just doesn't flinch, and the apple just explodes.
I haven't, no.
Uh,
That's mad.
and it's like, if you used to get someone to fucking pelt an apple at your head, fucking for it to
Oh
explode.
yeah, I'd be out cold. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, they got thick skulls. That's the thing, isn't it?
yeah. You're not knocking that down. I think
That's the thing.
well-
I feel like a lot of animals, if you're talking to beating it to death, you're going to struggle with a lot of it. You might even struggle with a goat. You know what I mean? I feel like again with the goat, you could choke it out. You could suffocate the goat. Can I use my shirt as a weapon?
No, it's just
Like,
you're
it has to be bare hands.
you're down to your boxes.
Can I use my boxes as a weapon?
No, it's
blind the goat and then attack it.
Sorry, boys. We're just checking the email. I'm just checking the email. We've been given a cease and desist by PETA.
It's all right. They kill
What-
more
what
animals
is-
than
what
anybody.
is it
Don't worry about it.
PETA. Is it
Peter.
PETA? PETA? Well, it's PETA, isn't it?
It's Peter.
In terms of how it's spelled.
It's
It's
run by a bloke called Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, that's
Oh God.
our what would you fight segment done for this week. I don't know if that'll be making a return to next.
Give me a week in the gym and my answer will
Yeah,
change.
give me a week.
Next week we'll move to amphibians.
Yeah, get thinking, boys. Oh, dearie me. Right. Well, much like the last subject, I don't really quite know how to segue from that into the main topic of discussion this week. So I think we're just going to jump straight into it, to be honest. So the main topic for this week that we wanted to basically talk through was video games. Oh, mainly because obviously we all. Pardon?
Who'd have thought?
I know, mental. Obviously, we all stream, various things on Twitch. For those I stream Football Manager. Bleach, you stream. Okay, never mind. So Hayne, you stream. No, but Bleach, you've streamed. What was it? Sky XL, like Tony Hawk, stuff like that.
Yes, right. Yeah. You wouldn't guess, would you?
Resident
No.
Evil
My
as
backdrop.
well. You streamed that. Yeah.
Resident Evil,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, you
Yeah.
Some
Did
horror games.
had a good stint with Resident Evil as well, from what I remember.
I got a few fairly big raids here and there, but
Yeah.
I just wasn't consistent enough with it, so it kind of dropped off. But that was more of an issue on my part than anything else.
No, that's fair. And
Flaky son of a bitch.
obviously Scott has been on Twitch for probably about the same amount of time as myself and Bleach definitely has by this point. Scott, you've mainly been. Am I right in saying you've mainly been streaming Rocket League? Is that fair to say that's your main game? Or you
Yeah, I mean Rocket League for a long time, and then I dabbled in. Zelda was a big thing on mine. Really, that was probably the most amount of kind of followers and raids and whatnot were from Breath of the Wild. But still waiting for Breath of the Wild 2 to come out. That'll be bloody lovely.
I'm looking forward to. I am looking forward to seeing you give that a crack because I actually genuinely
Yeah.
enjoyed the last Zelda series.
Yeah.
Did, so
So,
second
like,
that one comes out.
because obviously you streams Football Manager mostly. Are you done with that now?
So I am done with the current version of Football Manager. So
Okay.
obviously there's a new game every year. This is Football Manager 20. Football Manager 21 is out, or the beta. Because I pre-ordered the game, I get access to the beta, which comes out 2 weeks before release. So the official release is the 24th, so basically a month from now. And that come out. So in about 3 weeks to go and be out. But I've just hit a point now. I'm just like I'm so focused on the new game coming out and my plans for that I can't. I just haven't got the energy or the mindset to focus on making my current and my current save had just reached a natural end anyway. So it was a good time to end it. So now I'm just going to be on the ropes for a few weeks.
I see you went back to an older save, didn't you?
I'm. Oh no. So, but I will be doing that. So the first save that I did, my first main save I did this year, I'm gonna basically play through a couple of years in game, and then on like sometime next week, sort of show it and be like, hey, this is what the players look like now, and nerdy stuff that football manager people will love, basically.
For the spreadsheet people, yeah.
The spreadsheet. The people like spreadsheets and dots on the screen. They'll lose their fucking minds over it.
The people with the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And Hayden, of course, you've been on. I think it's fair to say you've been on Twitch probably the shortest period of time compared to before.
Well, I started my Twitch channel way back in the day. Sorry, I forgot how to speak there. I started my Twitch channel like way back in the day when we were doing when we dabbled briefly in YouTube, when we all started Twitch originally. But I think I streamed on it like once or something, and that was like fucking years ago. But yeah, I've only really started properly streaming since lockdown because I've had the time, really. So
yeah, I find from lockdown your average streaming hours do go up.
Yeah, it just makes it easier, doesn't it? You don't have the travel time. You don't have, all of that sort of stuff. I do find I've just got kind of more time around the house to.
Which is amazing, really, because you find, like, especially with for myself personally, the hour there and back, it's a godsend. Especially in your day.
Yeah, that helps.
Absolute godsend.
Definitely helps. Like I said, it just gives you more time in the day just to do the stuff you want to do, doesn't it? Which is always a good thing. One thing because there's a game actually that we've all played. I believe we've all streamed it. I don't know whether Bleach you streamed it or not. Actually, I might be wrong. But Detroit. I didn't stream it either. So I'm talking absolute bollocks. So 2 out of 4 of us streamed this game this year, and that's Detroit Become Human, which I know it's not exactly a new game. I know it's been out for a few years, but I know it only came to PC recently, didn't it? Am I right in saying it was PS4 for fucking ages, wasn't it? And then
it was ported across the PC after a little while. Took them long enough.
PS4 played.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, a game I've never sweated so much playing a game. Like literally, I was sitting here sweating over choices I was making in that game. Like I'm not even exaggerating or joking. I was sitting here like, fuck, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well, Hayden, do you want to explain the sort of basic premise of the game, just for anyone who might not be too familiar with it?
Yeah, sure. So you feel free to jump in, Scott, if I fuck this up. But essentially, you have this. What is it, like 3 characters? Is it 3 or 2? You play as
3.
3, yeah. So it's set in the future when there's like artificial intelligence, like androids, right? And these androids are basically used to do like menial tasks around the house, kind of like low-level jobs, that sort of thing. And some of them become sentient, and then it's kind of that whole kind of iRobot style, like, should they have rights? Shouldn't they have rights? And you play as like a bunch of androids basically. But the way the game develops is the choices that you make in the game kind of influence the way the story goes. So if you choose to, there might be a choice where you either kill a guy or let a guy go, and if you decide to kill him, that will affect how you're perceived and what happens to your character next. And if you let him go, that can also change the storyline. And fucking hell, and there's like timers on it as well. You can't just sit there for 45 minutes going, I don't know whether I should let this guy go because he might fuck me up later. But if I kill him, I don't want to be a bad guy. Like you got to like make fucking decisions. And I've never been like just press X. Oh, I should have pressed B. You know what I mean? I've never sweated so much and been so nervous playing a game. Fuck me, so good. I highly recommend it to anybody who hasn't played it. Don't watch any videos on it. Just buy it and play it.
Yeah, that's definitely the best way to do it. Because I know, Scott, you did a similar thing, didn't you? You didn't really know too much about it before getting it.
No, I would say probably if you haven't played the game, like, are we going to talk about our own endings? Because we were doing spoiler warning now.
Yeah, the game's been out for fucking years. So if you haven't played it, it's your own fault.
Like you say, give a spoiler warning. If anyone is interested in the game and doesn't want to, have the ending destroyed for you, go away and come back in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
because
we'll touch briefly on spoilers, but let's not we'll try and make it not
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much that obviously
I would go first because literally I got the good ending, so there's nothing really exciting to say. I did all the things correct, so I got a happily ever after. And then you boys all fucked
we
it.
didn't. We didn't. Not a chance.
You know what? I nearly didn't fuck it. I also got the good endings, I think. Yeah, I got all the good endings except for one of the characters where you have a choice between sacrifice fucking Jerry, who's like some fucking piece of shit, Andrew. He wasn't even a bad guy. He was a nice guy. I just really didn't. He just got on my fucking tits, and I don't even know why.
He was just a little dweeb.
Yeah, that's
and
the
the choice
well.
was like sacrifice yourself so the little girl can get away, or sacrifice Jerry so the little girl can get away. I was like, fuck Jerry, boom, and I was like, this doesn't look like we're sacrificing Jerry, and I was like, I pressed the wrong fucking button. Oh no, fucked it right up.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
I really had some mad difficulties. My computer just decided to spaz out for a second. Sorry for anyone that was watching.
That's all good. It's all good. To be fair, we made through a whole episode 1 without any technical issues.
Yeah.
So I think to get this far into it and have the first one.
My keyboard commands is
Success
doing
for us.
something awful to stream elements. I don't understand what, but it seems to be
It's all right.
crashing.
If you want, I'll angry tweet stream elements
Yeah,
later.
pain in
Just
the
give
arse.
him a piece of my mind. Give him a piece of my mind. Yeah, I think just going back to Detroit very quickly. I'm like you, Hayden. I actually think I did mostly everything correctly and got mostly good endings. With the same character though. I'll try and be a bit vague, but with the same character. I didn't have the situation with Jerry. I had the situation with the boats, which I don't know if any of you boys have seen the situation with the boat. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure all 4 of us got different endings with I'll say her name, Kara. Kara's one of the characters you play as, and
Yeah.
basically her main, I guess, motivation is to protect this little girl that she's kind of adopted, right?
Yeah.
And the situation I was doing so well, like there was a bit with the bus, and I didn't steal the bus ticket because I was like, no, I'm not a prick. I'm not going to steal the bus ticket from the woman.
Fuck those guys. They're going to be fine. They're not going to be in the streets. Fuck them.
And then basically I got to, because when you don't steal a ticket, you end up meeting up with the woman who takes you in earlier in the game. You know the house she goes to. You end up bumping into her. She's like, look, I'll jump in my car, take you where the boats are. You can go up to Canada and you'll be safe. It's a lie, man. Just don't go on the boats. It all goes terribly wrong. Like fucking not in terms of the people who were in that boat with me. Not one fucker survived. Not
But
one.
surely
And
there-
it's the bleakest, most depressing fucking. I just sat there, just like. I was just sad. I was just sad for a few days.
You had a similar ending, didn't you, Scott? Because
I was
I
gonna say-
remember
I'd say
you
you-
streamed that and I watched it and I was like, oh no, don't do that.
Nah. So my one, they got put in concentration camps, and then
It got real dark.
it got really dark really quick, and I was like, because I was on.
It was proper.
I wasn't a
Auschwitz,
good-
mate. It was proper. Take off your clothes, put them in the
Yeah.
bin. It was, oh my god, what's happening?
That's grim.
And then tried to make a break for it, got shot, all died, and then tried to obviously got to the decent part at the ending with Connor at the end with Marcus on stage, but when you were going into that woman's kind of area with the garden
Oh, yeah, I
bit,
forget her name.
Garden, yeah.
that bitch, yeah. I never really looked around, so I didn't know where that fucking button was when you to get out. So I was walking around for ages, got to about 5 foot from the fucking button. I was like, that's it, I gotta get to it. And then the game, he just shot him. Dead. All androids were binned. Killed them all.
I do like the difference with everyone's ending. Where, like, I mean, we all have different endings, and Scott's ending is the Holocaust.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. The Android Holocaust, pretty much.
Scott goes to the Holocaust.
But I think I love those sort of games though, because I think everyone can play it, individually, and then when you all sort of get together and talk about it, it's like no one had the same experience, pretty much. Like, one way or another, differences. Like I know, just touching it briefly, I know me and Bleach have been big fans of the Walking Dead game series from Telltale. Like maybe not towards the end of it, but the first 2 seasons I thought were really good. But
Yeah, like the third one was quite shit.
third
It
one
wasn't
was
great.
yeah, third one was shit. Fourth was okay given the circumstances, I thought.
Yeah,
but-
the fourth was okay because obviously the studio basically went under. Then they kind of revived with the skeleton crew. And
yeah.
just tried to throw out like a half-finished game by like trying to polish the edges. It worked.
It was
alright.
It was good.
I see some videos on YouTube for the Walking Dead. It did actually look quite good.
Yeah, if it's for you two, especially if you're into those sort of games where it's like decision-based, storyline-driven, like honestly, especially the first 2 series of the Walking Dead games, season 1 especially is just like if you make it through that without breaking down into a crying mess on the floor at the end of it, then I don't know how you can do it.
Yeah, I definitely like games like that. Like, it almost reminds me of like, do you remember like when you do like your GCSEs or whatever, and you come out the test afterwards and meet your mates and be like, "What did you get for number 7?" And you'd be like, "I got 42." You got 42. Holy fuck! I got -4. Like, it's a bit like that in like, oh, you know, on that bit, what did you do? What option did you pick? How did you? And I did this, and then that happened, and it was kind of, I don't know. It was really good. I was a bit disappointed. I was really pleased with the game, Detroit, but I was kind of a bit disappointed afterwards. Just in that, because when I was playing it, I was like, "Oh, I'm definitely going to play this again because there's so many different endings and some, all this different stuff you can do."
You never do
afterwards. No, because afterwards I kind of sat and I was like, "Now I kind of know what's going to happen." And
That's the thing.
It's kind of almost ruined it a bit for myself.
Yeah,
it's almost like I'd watched the ending before I'd played the game.
I think like whenever I've had that curiosity after like completing a choose your own path kind of game, I go to YouTube.
Yeah, that's usually what I do.
And you just find out what other people did within 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's definitely the easiest way of doing it.
Because I think the best part about games like that, where you have to make the choice, is not knowing what's going to happen and that kind of panic of like, fuck, like, I hope I haven't fucked this up. And once you know, like, once you've got past all that, when you're replaying it, it's kind of like, that emotion's kind of gone. And
I think as well with that game is because it gives you so many kind of lifelines to save certain people or kind of get yourself out of a situation until you have no more.
Until towards the end,
you kind of know how they're going to go down the line. It's a bit because I used up the majority of my lifelines on that gameplay because I was just like, fuck it, let's just see what happens. And then
I think the thing is, I think like as much as it is like an open game and that you can choose your own path, I think you're kind of railroaded towards like 3 or 4 different endings, and no matter what you choose, like the options you choose will make you take a different path to the ending, but you're never going to get someone killed like halfway through the game. Like there's one bit where there's a choice, one of the choices you make gets you shot in the chest as a main character, but you don't die, and it's like, oh, right, okay. And it's like you're kind of pushed towards either good, medium, bad ending with each character. And it's just kind of just changes the narrative rather than, oh, I got everybody killed in like 10 minutes in. Like I
don't think it quite matters though, because I know obviously Mass Effect was a massive. Everyone was arguing over Mass Effect when that finally finished after that trilogy, because it was like, oh, none of our like choices ever really mattered. I mean, like in most like choose your own stories, very rarely. Like I think Detroit Become Human's a bit of an outlier in the fact that the endings are so drastic in some situations, but a lot of choose your own, especially a lot of the Telltale games, like all the Walking Dead, you're always going to get like a very similar path, just like very tweaked like changes. And I think Mass Effect's like, yeah, the endings come out the same, but you can do it with all different people and have all different like dialogue options here and there. It does still create its own experience. You just can't get upset that a game can't have like 50,000 unique endings. It's just stupid. It's unrealistic.
Yeah, I would say out of all the ones I would say out of all those sort of games that I have played, like I've done like I didn't play Heavy Rain, but I watched like a playthrough of it, so like I still need to actually play it myself, but because I know the whole story now, it's kind of like a bit moot. Like there's no real need to. But I've done like all the Walking Dead games. I've done like the other Telltale one. What was the really popular one with all the fairy tale characters?
Oh, yes.
Wolf Among Us? Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, played that. And I also played Beyond Two Souls, which is the one with
Ellen Page?
Ellen Page, yeah. And so Beyond Two Souls is like you just said, that's one where really your choices don't really, I find they don't really make too much of a difference. It's very difficult to fail in that game. Like you could generally fuck up a sequence where you're running through the woods trying to escape the police. But if you stand still for 5 minutes, literally nothing happens. And it will just auto move you on to the next bit. And it's like, well, okay, you're obviously leading me to one of like 5 possible endings here. So that one, when it finishes, you're kind of a bit like,
There's still things
really
like
make a difference.
if
but-
you're going to go out the way that much to look behind the curtain,
I guess so, yeah.
Like, you're supposed to just enjoy the game for what it is in
Definitely.
the moment.
And that's the thing. I think I wasn't annoyed about kind of being driven towards only a few endings, really, just because on the first playthrough, like the story, because there was such variation in sort of how you get to that ending. Like it felt like my choices mattered, and I think that's more important than the choices actually mattering. Like I think, you know, the experience of playing the game and the story, and the like, it's the attachment you feel for the characters. Like you actually care whether, you know, Kara gets that little girl out, and you care whether Connor fucking makes it or not. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what makes games like that decent. Like when you don't really care about the characters and the story's not great, it does just feel like a railroad click, 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 click.
Yeah,
you know, sort of game.
I think I think you're absolutely spot on. And I think, just maybe going from that, say a bit, quite story driven, quite like sort of, I guess, because I think Detroit Become Human can be quite thought provoking as well. I think it makes you sort of look at the, back in 2D, makes you sort of look at the world and sort of how it could go and society and all that sort of stuff. But going from something a bit more serious to that, to something that I know we've all been playing recently, especially on stream, is a new horror game that's been out recently called Phasmophobia. Now, I'm sure, I think some of the people in the chat that I'm seeing definitely would have seen us play this over the last couple of weeks. It's something we've only got into for the last couple of weeks. But, I mean, the fact we've been streaming it so much probably answers this question. But, I mean, how are you guys finding it? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
So, I think I'm at the tail end of it now, where I think I mentioned it to Scott the other day. I'm kind of getting sad that, like, the jump scares are starting... Like, the jump scares are still there. But the general fear is starting to like wear off a bit now, because once you like know the patterns of like what's going to happen, like it's just that initial fear. So I remember Left 4 Dead. I remember playing Left 4 Dead for the first time, like first few times, and I remember if I was the last one alive, I'd be like screaming like a girl, going, "I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die." And then like now you play, you're like, "Oh, okay, whatever." You just slowly get desensitized to it. And I think I'm now at that end where I'm starting to get a bit desensitized. It's a great game, fucking amazing game. The fact it's been built by one guy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think early on, atmospherically, it's great. Like the first couple of times you play it, you walk into the house and you think, "Fucking hell!" Like I didn't do the tutorial. Like I was like, because my first proper game was with you guys, and I walked into the tutorial and I was on my own, obviously, and it was in this fucking dark house, and I know there's ghosts, and I heard doors creak and the telephone started ringing. I was like, "Fuck this! I'm out. I'll learn on the job." Like you guys can tell me what the pick up thing, pick stuff up button is. I don't need to do this tutorial. I'm just going to shit myself. It's not worth it. But like, I know what you mean. Like once that wears off a little bit and you start learning the patterns, I think what was disappointing about it as well was the big maps, which are the ones that you think this is going to fucking shit me up, like the asylum and like the school and stuff. You think, oh, these are going to be the scary ones because it's like this big fucking abandoned building. I didn't think they were as good because you just spent ages wandering around looking for the haunted room and looking for stuff and waiting for something to happen. You play for an hour and nothing fucking happens. And it's like
I think you definitely need like multiple ghosts on them ones.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Because I think it'll add much like of a variety. Because it was saying that the smaller maps, like the roadhouses, are just much more fun because it's a much more intense experience. Where like, okay. Like around any corner, something might happen, and then in them ones, it's like, well, I've looked around like 20 corners, still got 20 more to go, and nothing's happened yet.
Yeah, it's true. I prefer the farmhouses. They're the scariest, in my opinion.
I think they're the most, they're the most like atmospheric, aren't they?
It's because it's just like there's not a lot of light. It's intense. Like I mean, the jump scare we posted the other day when Mike got locked outside the house, and it was just me and you in there. That was
that's great. That was great.
That was like, stuff like that. I think the playability keeps it like it will stay alive for a little while because it's randomized with like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think as you level up, I think there's some people like level 40 and stuff like that, and the ghosts get really aggressive.
There's another level difficulty as well. I think it's professional. I think like one of the main differences is you don't get insurance money if you die. So if you're playing on like professional difficulties, like if you die, you normally get your money back for all the stuff you've lost. You don't get that this time.
So we read up on the game, like for the roadmap for where it kind of wants to go, and I think the next update is going to be a player-controlled ghost. So someone will play as the ghost,
shit,
which would be
brilliant.
quite good. It's
That
not
would be
a
great.
bad idea.
Right.
I think that's my thing with Phasmophobia. Like I'm kind of like you guys were saying. Like I'm starting to get to the tail end of it now. Of like, okay, I've done this now, and this is great, but like I just need a bit more now from the game. And I think that if you can have someone like, you know, even if it's just you go in there and like it's the standard like 4 of you try and hunt a ghost, but if one of you die, you then get the opportunity to join the ghosts essentially, and sort of therefore you have 2 ghosts haunting rather than just 1 or whatever. I think that could be really cool. But as well, you know, if they got, well, I say they, if it's still this, I'm guessing it's still this one guy who's developed it. But like,
Didn't the studio buy him out?
Yeah.
Did they?
So there's,
Oh, okay,
there's a whole
yeah.
studio in there for now for developments.
well, then maybe if they've got a shooter back him now, maybe there's more scope for like better levels and just more variety of what they can do, and just sort of like get rid of that sort of repetitive feeling. Like I think, and I definitely think there's potential for that to happen with that sort of game, because I think the core idea of what they got of it right now, I think is so solid.
Yeah.
But the problem is because there's just not enough of it, you kind of get a bit like, I think you get sort of, maybe bored is not the right word, but you just get a bit too used to it quite quickly.
Yeah.
You know?
I think a
kind of-
couple of
100%.
different map variations as well wouldn't go amiss. I
Mm.
think just so you
Definitely.
so not everyone's like, right, I'm gonna go grab the keys for the car.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna go upstairs and check this. Like, you don't know, the layout will be a lot better.
Yeah. I would like it if the game sort of forced you in a way, or sort of made it you kind of had to split up. It's like if you're in a group of 4, you kind of each had to go off by yourselves, sort of thing. Like, and I know that involves using the toggle to talk thing, which I know you're not a huge fan of, Bleach, but like, like for me, it makes a huge. For me, like personally, I think it adds way more to the game rather than if you're already on Discord.
No, I agree, but just make it toggle. Don't make it push the talk. That's my one gripe with it. It annoys me having to constantly press talk.
Yeah.
If they turn into toggle, I'm more than happy to be like, I get like push the talk for walkie-talkie. That makes sense. But I think they should make voice actually toggle.
Yeah, I agree.
If it was, I'd be more than happy to always be on a in-game chat. It's just, I cannot be fucked to keep pressing B every 2 seconds.
But yeah, I think if they added those sort of small improvements, like Scott said, you know, varied up the maps a little bit, put bigger maps in there, more interest, and maybe have it like more than 1 ghost per level. I think you could have. I think you'd have something really solid.
I would like to see a bit more variation in like the actual ghosts as well. Like, not necessarily that they need to add more different types, but like as it stands, it doesn't really matter whether it's a spirit or a demon or a Yuri or whatever. It's exactly the same experience in the house, like in terms of you go in, the lights flicker, you see cold breath. You know what I mean? Like, I know you get different evidence, but other than that, the actual experience of if you were just wandering around and the ghost was attacking people, that is exactly the same. And I'd like to see maybe some different behaviours from.
I think that's on the roadmap. I think when me and Scott were reading through it, one of the things is like it's going to start actually throwing stuff at you to damage you.
See, that's the sort of thing I want to see.
That'd be great.
Because like at the moment when it comes to attack you, it appears and it just kills you in 1 hit.
Yeah.
There's not much of a fight. It would be fun if it would like pick you up, throw you, it starts dragging you away from other
I
people.
want to be playing, and I want to see Hayden get dragged from his legs across a fucking room. That'd be fucking great. That'd be so good.
Yeah.
I
That'd
think
be
that
so
and
much
like
fun.
the poltergeist kind of style thing of if you leave a room and you turn around and everything's open, like in the kitchen or you know.
Well, I mean, look, if they got a studio now, like a full studio, like of developers working on that game, then hopefully, you know, in a few months we'll start seeing more of that sort of stuff.
100%. Yeah.
So that'd be.
Because is it on console at the moment?
I'm not sure.
Do you reckon they're going to bring it to the? What's it the next console? Is it the PS5 and the
PS5 and the Xbox X series?
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Just it's instrumental actually. Just I want to get your. I mean, I think I know what the answer is going to be, but I'll ask anyway since we're talking about video games in this episode. PS5 or Xbox Series X? Are you going to get either of them, or is PC the way forward still?
I'll probably do what I did with the PlayStation 5. Is it PlayStation 5 that's about to come out, or is it?
Yeah.
So what I did with the PS4 is basically when it gets a bit cheaper, I'll buy it for like exclusives.
Yeah.
All my gaming is going to basically still be on PC, but like, I think there was Detroit I wanted to play, Horizon Zero Dawn I wanted to play, Spider-Man PS4 I wanted to play.
Great.
Because I mean, Xbox doesn't really have any good exclusives anymore.
No, I think PlayStation's been smashing it with the exclusives. Out of the 2 of them.
But I know that like PlayStation is starting to like really push like to put their exclusives on PC, but I kind of like the novelty of still kind of having a console to fuck around on occasionally.
Mm.
So yeah, I reckon down probably a year from now, I'll probably buy a PS5 for the exclusives, but that's exactly my answer gets.
The only reason I would get a PS5, I think, is for if they did either back compatibility or it's just cheap to buy like old games. Because there are some games that I would play purely for the nostalgia, like a bunch of PlayStation 1 games and stuff, that I would play just for the nostalgia. And obviously, when they were like, oh, you know, we're going to release the PS4, but it's not back compatible, and you've got to like rebuy all the games that you already bought when they came out. Like I had a big stack of PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games, and it was like, you can't actually play any of those on PlayStation 4 unless you buy them again. It's like, fuck that.
Yeah, that sort of shit bothers me a lot.
You know, if they were going to make it back compatible, or you know, or allow you to download games cheap, you know, like fucking like 50p and stuff for PlayStation 1 games, because I find it hard to justify spending. I know it's only a few quid, but I find it hard to justify spending that money on a game that's like 25 years old. It's like, are you being serious?
Yeah.
You want me to spend like £5 on
So
a game?
you're not going to like Nintendo then?
No, they don't drop prices of shit.
No. I think they make it a very. I think it's a conscious choice that they never like drop the prices on any of their games. So like a Nintendo game from 2000 is still going to be like full retail price.
I mean, I guess it works. The thing is, like, some games are like that. Like, if you try and go and buy like Black Ops on Steam,
It's fucking joke.
it's still like 30 quid or whatever for Black Ops 1 on Steam. Do you know what I mean?
Unless you get it on a
And
lucky sale and it's like £2.
Yeah. And like the DLCs and that are all still like 12 quid each or whatever. And you think, how old is that game? You know what I mean? At least with like Nintendo games, if you go out and get a Wii game, you can still you can get them all second hand. Do you know what I mean? Or at least
true.
so if you're thinking like, I know this game is old and I don't really want to pay fucking $34.99 for it, you know you can find it somewhere second hand, and you know anywhere that's going to sell you a second hand game is going to offer you a warranty on it, so that if it doesn't work.
Black Ops is currently £30, and all of the DLC is still full price at £12 each.
Yeah, and there's like
it's fucking stupid.
DLCs?
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's fucking.
Yeah, it's mad. Like, when did that come out? Does it say on there?
Can't be bothered to look for. 2010.
So you're looking at a game that's like 10 years old, and you're going to go out and spend like, to get the full game with all the maps and all that, you're going to go out and end up spending like 80
4 DLC packs.
That's mad.
48. So it was 78.
£78. Yeah, so like nearly 80 quid on a game that's 10 years old. And what is the player base like? Like, I haven't played Black Ops Online for ages, but if you're going to get all the DLC, you're going to want to play the online maps and the zombies, right? And I mean, if there's like 100 fucking people playing it, you want to pay 80 quid? Like, I think that's a bit of a...
Well, that's the thing. Like,
would they make more money, Mike, if they dropped the price because more people would buy it?
There's definitely
Especially when you consider that most people, as soon as the new Call of Duty comes out, they buy it and throw the old one away.
Yeah,
more or less, because most people want to play it for is online, and it's like, you know,
very true. I mean, with the Xbox and the PlayStation, I mean, I'll just stick with PC for now, I think. But I think if I was a console player, I'd probably, because Microsoft bought Bethesda, didn't they? So I would probably be Xbox, just purely because everything Bethesda releases, I am all over it for some reason. I don't know why. Just am.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I'd be on your side, but with their recent track record, they've really fucked themselves. Like, I mean,
I don't know. Fallout 76. I mean, it sucked, but I enjoyed the shit out of it.
That's a fan right there. When you can go, oh no, it was awful. I loved it though. I couldn't give a
I had
fuck
a
about
great
it.
time.
I have to agree.
A fantastic time.
I think that's the whole.
I really reluctantly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but like the whole time I was playing it, I was like, I shouldn't be enjoying this game.
God damn it! I hate Bethesda.
I love this game, but I hate myself.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I just think just purely for like the main ones, like Fallout being the main one, Elder Scrolls, and all the other Doom was another one. Doom 1, I played. I had a couple of 100 hours in that game. probably one of the best FPS shooters I think I've played.
Yeah,
It was just so
I played that at
arcadey.
Sean's house, and it was fucking mental. I was like, oh my god, what's
Ripping,
happening? Oh,
saying about
Jesus.
ripping a man's arm off and then hitting him with it is just the
Yeah.
Having played the new Doom this year, I can tell you it's satisfying. That's the one word I'd use, just to sort of see someone's head explode just from like the most powerful gun known to
squashing
man.
their head.
It's like, just because like I can't do this in real life, but these aren't real people. They're aliens in a video game. God
Basically,
damn it, feels good.
me versus a goat.
Yeah, basically.
Pull its head off.
Bleach lives out his goat fantasy when playing it. So.
Yeah, nice.
I mean,
Sorry, go on.
The bleach goat. The goats.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, you've been talking about there about games you've put hours and hours into. I think it's probably a good time to sort of go into this. And I'll say this: if for people watching on Twitch, feel free to get involved in this next conversation in the live chat. Like we'll pick some we'll pick some stuff out, and we'll if we have time we'll discuss at the end. But basically, what we're going to be doing is going through our personal top 3 video games of all time that we've played. So we'll go around, do like a round table thing. We'll pick 3 each. We'll probably do it one by one. Go from like third to first, and just have a bit of a chat about them. So yeah, if people on the chat want to get involved in that and drop your favorite games in there, like I said, do it, and we'll pick out some gems at the end. So I think we'll start with, just because he looks the least ready, I think we'll start with Bleach.
It's like a school test. It's like a school answer, isn't it? Just
Who should I go with?
One of these little motherfuckers.
He's sitting there going, not me.
No, it wasn't that. So I'm quite guilty. I was quickly watching something.
Right.
Bleach has a porn addiction, so
Yeah.
It is something X-rated, but it's
Lord.
it was a woman popping an abscist
Oh, okay, great, fantastic. That's not
located in her.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Jesus
cool,
Christ.
cool. Nice one. Could have gone the next 40 minutes so about knowing about that. That's great.
What wasn't great?
To be fair, that's probably my fault for starting with Bleach, I suppose.
Yeah.
You've got yourself to blame. You
Yeah.
did this.
Yeah.
Wasn't great. Yeah. So best top 3. I don't even know top 3 games. Fucking hell.
Let's go with third. So we'll all end on the top one.
Let me try to like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one now. Shit.
I think one of them's definitely up there. Is still going to be BioShock Infinite. Purely because it's one of the only few games in my whole life where, as soon as I completed it, the next thing I did is I just restarted it on like the next difficulty. That's the only time I've ever completed a game and then immediately, like within like 5 minutes, just gone back. Okay, I'm going to play this again.
Do you know what's sad about that? I played like the first, I want to say like half hour of BioShock Infinite on PC, like a couple of years ago. And then the game kept crashing at one particular thing, and I just never got around to sorting it. So I do still really want to sit down and complete and play our way through, because what I played of it was brilliant.
Was that when you had your dog shit PC?
It may have been, yeah. Because I was living at my parents' back then, so it may well have been.
Yeah, because I reckon if you played it now, it'd run smoothly because it's a very low demanding game.
It was literally, I think there was a corrupt file or something. Like, yeah, I broke out of the room with the main woman. Like, I can't remember what her name was. And it just shut down. Little error message. So, yeah. But from what I played of it, it was great. I don't know if anyone else has also played it.
100%. Great. One of the best games up there. Like BioShock 1 and 2 were really good, but Infinite was it was something about it. It was because it wasn't dark and gloomy. It was kind of like the colours were just it was just satisfying to play.
Yeah, because I think the first one's still going to be like the best in a lot of people's heads, but I'd say that like Infinite is very strongly on par with the first one. They're like two different sides of the same coin, but then like 2 is like, I think 2's got a bit of a sour taste in my mouth purely because it was ruined, but for Games for Windows Live, if any of you guys actually remember that.
I don't remember that actually, no.
So Games for Windows Live was this fucking stupid. You know how everyone wanted to make their own game launcher, like Ubisoft has Uplay and stuff like that. Xbox was like, all like Xbox kind of games, we're gonna like incorporate this Games for Windows Live. It's basically their own kind of like game launcher. Absolute fucking dog shit. It didn't work. It was broken. And after a year, they was like, yeah, this isn't working, so we're just not going to support it anymore. But they would not take that. But they wouldn't take the implementation off the games it was already on. Yeah. So like, you had to try to run this broken platform on games that you wanted to play, and for me to play Bioshock 2, it would crash like every 10 minutes. So I just hotkeyed like F5 to be like my quick save. As soon as I killed one like enemy, F5. Walk down a hole, F5. And every 10 minutes the game would just hard crash, launch it back up, and that's how I had to fucking play it. It was a fucking nightmare. Absolute fucking nightmare. But I enjoyed myself.
There you go. Lovely little callback.
That's like the key to so many games. As long as you enjoy yourself, like Daisy,
Yeah.
we all know how dog shit that game is. How much fucking fun did we have on that game?
Do you know, I was playing Among Us with some of the FM guys like a few weeks or so ago, and a couple of them still play Daisy. I mean, I ended up looking. I think I've got about 140 hours or something of that game.
Yeah, it's mad.
Like, logged in.
It's mad.
Madness.
Mad how much of that game we played.
Those men's
Yeah, good times. So we'll go to you next, Hayden. I'm guessing unless Daisy is your third pick and you want to go into more detail about it.
Definitely not. Definitely not. No. For number 3, I think I'm gonna choose Call of Duty World at War, specifically the zombie mode.
Interesting.
And that is just because of the amount of fun us lot had at my house playing that fucking game.
I've got to back him on that.
That's a
Hours
fucking
and
cheat.
hours.
That's not a whole game. That's going, oh, I really enjoyed this one game mode.
No, I've got to back him though.
I mean,
like,
out of all the Call of Duty games, World at War is my favorite. It's like, you'll know me. It's the second World War game, and it was. I thought it was a great storyline. It was real, like the visceral as well. Like a lot of the other games, you chuck a grenade at a guy and he blows up and he goes, "Oh no, I'm dead. I'm dead." In fucking World at War, you launch a grenade, people's arms and legs would be flying off and shit. Like you'd be. It was sick. There was that 6 sniper mission in Russia. Like it was a really, really good. It was my favorite. Well, it is my favorite Call of Duty game, and zombies is what made it for me. Like, I had so much fucking.
how many you think of how many weekends like we'd be around yours just playing World at War Zombies?
Been like 8 of us in my living room playing it on PlayStation 3, just getting drunk and fucking taking turns playing doubles on fucking Call of Duty.
It was good.
nuts. It was mad.
It was really, really
We
good.
spent-
Yeah,
we
it's
spent
good times.
hours
I
on
think
that.
I'm gonna go with that.
We spent absolute
And,
hours.
I'm going to be honest with you. Most of these games, I think, are in my top 3, mostly for the nostalgia of them.
That's fair.
Like, that's what I think most of it is. Rather than it being an amazing game, I had a lot of fun playing it. You know.
Yeah, that's a great shout.
I think I've got to go for World of War for my number 3.
Cool. Scott, let's go with you next.
It's probably going to surprise you for how low it is probably on the list. But I would say MGS 1 to 3.
It's only
third.
Okay.
Purely for the fact that 4 onwards for me didn't get on with it at all.
Not a
Just
fan.
Wasn't a fan at all.
Was you not a fan of Phantom Pain?
No.
Phantom Pain was garbage.
I,
Phantom Pain was garbage, man.
I've played it twice. I never completed it because it's good until halfway through and you start replaying the same missions, which just have like little twists on them.
Yeah, that's why it's not even twists. It's play this same level again, but on
With a
extreme
Yeah.
difficulty. It's like,
yeah.
and then you just get these random ass cutscenes in the middle of them. It's so stupid. So
But
sorry, Scott.
Yeah, like 1 to 3 for me were just they were perfect. Like just how you like 3 was like okay, this is the direction we're going in, but then it kind of I don't know from like 4 I was just like this isn't the same. Because it was obviously going from the old era to the new. I couldn't grasp the new, and for me that in my list that dragged it down on the list because everything after that was I didn't really enjoy compared to obviously 1 being the best.
I was going to say if you had to pick one out, if you had to pick one out of the 3,
hands down, 1.
Yeah.
It's just
Metal Gear Solid 1 had some mental stuff in it.
for
like
its
some
time as
proper
well. You got to
heavy
think like
Yeah.
just it was great. Like sniper wall fights several times in the fucking game. I mean, 3 was like there was some weird fucking shit in that game. Like I was just like,
Do you know what I loved about? Sorry to interrupt. You know what I loved about 3? The boss, the sniper boss in that game called
The End.
the end, where if you couldn't figure out how to beat him, all you had to do was log into your PS3 and move the time forward. Was it like a week or something like that?
Dies of old age.
And you'd log back in, and the motherfucker would be dead of old age. Like, that is genius. That is fucking genius
that
level.
was the thing that absolutely fucking made Metal Gear Solid games. Like, you need
stuff
to get
like
this,
that was
you need
great.
this codec number. It's on the back of the disc case, and you're in the game. You're going, I haven't got. I don't know what you're talking about. And it was on the literal back of the PlayStation 1 disc case. Holy
man.
fuck.
I don't want to sound like a fucking old fart. They do not make games like that anymore. They just don't.
So with the end, I have a very specific memory of that, where like I was too young to like figure out. I did it on PS2, so I didn't have like the timer thing as well.
Right.
But do you remember those the like little PS2 booklets of cheats?
Yeah.
So there was one for that fight, and it was like a 30-character like fucking input that you have to put into like your codec, and then it would make him appear until he shoots and he'll disappear again. You got to keep redoing it. Fuck me with cheats. Like putting that code so many fucking goddamn times.
Oh god.
Fuck me. Even with the cheats, it's fucking infuriating.
Did you all still remember up, down, left, right, L1, 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 L1? Fucking Vice City,
GTA.
whatever it was, yeah. Fucking hell, hard coded into my memory that I'm going to be the senile old man who doesn't remember who I am. Children will be visiting, I'll be like, I don't know who you are. But I'll remember up, down, left, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Mike, what about your one?
Well, I think I'll say this now. I was a bit quiet for that bit just because MGS is going to make a reappearance later on in my list. But my number 3 is, and again, this I have a feeling this will be on maybe Scott's list. If it's not, fair enough. But my number 3 is actually Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda.
That is on my list. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! It's probably the first like story-driven video game that I played when I was younger, and that I genuinely fell in love with. I think it's timeless as well. Like, even though it's like, because it's what, N64, right? Yeah. Like, if you get yourself like an emulator, if you've still got your N64 and you plug it and play, like the difference in graphics back then doesn't even register to me now. If I played it today, it would still just be like, this game is, maybe not perfect, but I think for its time, it's probably as close as perfect as you could have got for that sort of game. And I think it's generally quite groundbreaking as well for what it did for those sort of games moving forward in other consoles.
So just to throw a little spanner in the cog there, never played a single Zelda game.
You've never played not even Ocarina of Time?
Jesus, go back.
Have you played Ocarina of Time, mate?
Yes. I haven't like completed it, but I have played it. Like, I didn't have it. I had a friend who had it, and I played it.
Right.
I had Link's Awakening on Game Boy. That was dope.
Great game.
Well, I think for me with Ocarina of Time, like I'll be honest, I didn't get on with Majora's Mask. I don't know. I remember my brother got it, and I tried playing it. And I just couldn't get into it for whatever reason. Like, maybe if I went back and play it now, I might be able to. But like, it might have been because I enjoyed Ocarina of Time so much, and like, I just think the storyline's great. I think it was really innovative. I think that's the word I want to say. Like, again, I think a lot of how those sort of more story-driven games are these days. I think it has a lot to owe to Ocarina of Time. I think so. I think that, and also nostalgia as well. Like, whenever you play it, like if I play it nowadays, it would take me back to just being like young and whatnot again. So that's my 3rd pick.
Decent. We're going on seconds.
Yeah, let's go for seconds. Bleach.
So, because I didn't really think about this properly, my top 3 aren't like tiered. These are probably just going to be amalgamation.
Okay, fair.
So, seeing that you went for like a childhood sort of like series, I'm going to go with my childhood series. I didn't have Zelda. I had Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, yes.
Golden oldie.
Yes.
Great games.
So Crash Bandicoot 1 to 3 was my childhood. That's what got me into That was my first gaming experience, pretty much. That's what got me into gaming.
Has anyone played the new one?
I have got the new one. I've got the Insane Trilogy on PS4.
Oh no,
No,
there's a fourth game now.
Oh, there's a 4th one. Fuck, no, I haven't. I saw how loop I am. Is it on PC?
No, it's only on PlayStation at the moment. I'm waiting for it to come to PC, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what they basically done was they said, all the PS2 games, forget that, forget Twin Cyanity, forget the Mind Over Beast, all them don't exist. This is a sequel to 3.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
It does look really bloody good. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell also though, having got the Insane Trilogy and playing the remaster once again, I don't think, maybe I just didn't notice it when I was younger. I was just better at video games when I was younger. it is fucking infuriating. Some of the levels on Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
There are some levels I was generally seeing it like I was playing FIFA, going, "You fucking cunt, what are you doing?"
I remember one being the bridge, the snow bridge, and then have to jump, and then obviously the way they break, and then you have to. Oh mate, it was so fucking infuriating.
The worst part about games like that, right, is like with games like say Call of Duty, if some guy keeps killing you, you can be angry at him. But with Crash Bandicoot, it's you fucking it up. You're sitting there getting angry. You're thinking, it's all my fault. It's the worst. I can't even blame anyone else.
Is there any other levels on that game that just stand out as rage inducers or?
Fuck me.
I've got one.
I can't really think like. Not suck my own dick. I was pretty fucking good at the game. I fucking played that game a fuck ton.
No,
the one thing that pissed me off like really bad, and it was like. There was a level, and you had then like little wooden things you had to spin to get them to lay flat, and then jump up, and then go up, and then up, and then you
that was on the first
you'd
game.
fuck up on the top one, and then fall straight back down to the bottom. You're like, oh my god.
There's one I played in the Insane Studio. I think it's like to sort of jump from various objects, and then there's like a fucking turtle or something. It's a one-hit kill, and it's just like you have to get the timing just about right. And I kept fucking the timing up, and it just mate, did my head in. But no, that's a great shout. Crash Bandicoot's like legendary.
You're fucking welcome. See, I didn't even think about these answers.
All right, Hayden, what's your number 2, mate?
Oh, again, when I picked my top 3, I didn't really think of an order. So I'm kind of trying to put them in order as we go. And World at War wasn't actually on the list at all. I just thought of it. Thought, actually, that was sick. I think number 2, I'm going to go for Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey.
Great game.
And if I could tag it on the end, the second one, Oddworld, Abe's Exodus. The Oddworld games were so good. They were so good. Like, the gameplay was pretty fun. The world they were in with all these different aliens and the bad guys, like these fucking capitalists who have like got slaves and they make fucking meat snacks. That's the plot of the first game, is that you're this guy who's like a slave janitor, right, who buffs the floors at this fucking meat packing factory where they make meat snacks, right? And he sees a board meeting with like the evil capitalist people that are in charge of the company when they're saying, yeah, you know, we're not really making that much money on these meat snacks. Let's kill some of the slaves and put them on a stick and sell them as like meat popsicles. And he's like, fuck this, I'm getting out. And the first like, I don't know, third of the game, first quarter of the game, is you trying to escape from these people so you don't get turned into a snack, basically. And then you have to like go back and rescue all the other slaves.
Out of curiosity,
and
have you not thought about streaming the remastered version?
No,
you should.
I would stream the original. I've got the originals on PC, and I would stream the originals. When the thing is, when they remastered it, they didn't just update the graph. They didn't do like just a remake where they updated the graphics. They changed some of the mechanics in the game,
right? Okay.
So it might play the same. There's certain missions I can't exactly quite remember off the top of my head quite how. But you know, like I don't know if you remember the mission where you're trying to escape from the yard outside, and there's those laser scanners that go across across the yard. Like where they've changed that in the new game, like in the remaster, like it doesn't quite work the same. But I would definitely stream like the originals. I would definitely stream those. They're so much fun. And you get fucking, what is his name, Elam, the little horse thing that you got to ride, and like you'd be like, come on, Elam, and then he'd see fucking some honey or some shit and just stop and start eating it, and you'd be like, come on, you fat fuck, we need to jump over.
Lasers are coming.
And you'd be like, and it was just a little voice acting stuff because you had to try, because the whole point of the game was that there were like 2 endings, not to spoil it, but the game came out in like 1996 or some shit. So
you played it by now.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna. But like there were 2 endings. There was like the successful ending and the unsuccessful ending, and the only way to get the successful ending was to save all of the like aliens in the game that you needed to save. There was like 100 or something aliens throughout, like they're called Mucadons, right? You had to save 100 of them throughout the game, and if you miss one, you die at the end. The end cutscene is they capture you at the end, and they've got you over this they got you strung up over this thing, and the floor opens, and it's like a big meat grinder, and if you miss one guy, or you get one guy killed, you just fucking get dropped into it at the end. You have to save all of them, and then like your god basically turns up and fucking just kills everybody in the room and saves you, sort of thing.
I need to see you play this on stream. It's like
It's
I need to see it
infuriating.
happen.
It's one of them old school games where it's like it is about timing, and you got there'll be like jumps where you're running away from something that's trying to kill you, and you've got to make the jump at exactly the right point, otherwise you're caught or you fall in this thing. And it's an infuriating game, but it's so fun.
Nice.
And it's just got this kind of like fun, you got to like save these people, and to save them you have to get them through portals, so you've got to get the slaves to follow you and shit. So you go to them, you're like, hello, and they stand up and go, follow me. Okay, and you just walk off and he follows you to the portal. And like in the second one was even better because they added a bunch of extra stuff, and they added like laughing gas. So like you'd be trying to get these people to follow you out, and they'd laughing gas go off, and they'd just stop following you and start laughing. You have to go and fucking slap them to like fucking get them, like snap them out of it. And if you slapped them too much, they'd get angry at you and they wouldn't follow you. And you'd have to apologize and shit. Like it's fucking mad. You'd be standing there slapping this gun and going, "Sorry, follow me." Okay, walk off. So good. So
there you go. Coming soon to twitch.tv/greyfox.
Yeah.
Underscore.
Underscore, of course. Scott, what is your number 2?
See, I had difficulties with my number 2 because
it happens with age.
Yeah, I know. It's a serious problem.
I find if you get your knees up real high, it'll slide out.
No, it's Fallout would be Fallout 3, and then New Vegas would be my number 2s. I was going to pair that with RuneScape because I still play it now, and I played it since I was about 12. Playability wise,
it's got some longevity.
Serious longevity.
Serious longevity.
But yeah, Fallout would if we go for like actual console style games, Fallout. Just because I think Fallout 3 was the first game that I played where there was different endings, like fully from you were your own risk. I say that because you end up blowing up towns, or like there's a mission with like a tower where you can choose to either blow up this certain town, or you could backstab him and then let the ghouls go in through the sewers and then kill everyone in this rich tower, or you find this ridiculous tree that's living and you can either kill it or and in the game there was just several game endings, and it was ridiculous. Like I think my playtime on that game was a good 200-300 hours for my age at the time when I was playing it. Is silly. Like
See, let's think. I'm going to skip ahead of you in queue because my last one was going to be Fallout 3.
Go for it.
But my experience is completely different to Scott's. So the first time I played it, I just didn't understand like the whole like open world RPG element, because that was the first time I experienced one of them games. So I played it for like 30 minutes. I was like, oh, I can't get used to this. Like as soon as I got outside for 30 minutes, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Then but later that year, I was like, fine, I'm going to sit down and try to figure out this game. And then when it all clicked, about like an hour after me forcing myself to play through it, it all clicked. I played all the DLCs. I had like an amazing run, and because I had such a good run on that game, I never touched it again. I was like, I had such a good run. I do not want to relive that. I just want to keep that as a perfectly packaged little memory. Yeah. But New Vegas, I played the fuck ton out of because I always fuck up the ending. And then I've replayed. I think New Vegas, my playtime is probably like yours on 3. It's like hundreds of hours. Although I think 3 is a much more enjoyable game than New Vegas.
New Vegas for me was like the choices were more serious, but that was just down to the factions that you kind of either went with, or there was certain route. Your ending will be different, but there was just certain routes you could kind of dive into, and then it just opens up a whole new world within that kind of area. But 3 was just you, and like you could have a companion. I personally, like on the Fallout games, I hate companions. I'd like lone wolf it. I'm just me, my ammo, and as many grenades as possible, and then just kind of like. I'll
accept Dogmeat though. Dogmeat has like a good level person.
Yeah.
Is that me and my dog? You know, it's
yeah,
fine.
that is understandable. But yeah, like
Dogs are the best companions.
4 was.
So, yeah, makes sense.
If I've learned anything about post-apocalyptic environments, though, the dog always dies. So I'd be thinking, I don't want the dog because it's going to die. I'm not going to be able to take it. It's going to destroy me.
Yeah, no, it's like 4 was good. I enjoyed it. I played it once through. I didn't feel the need to kind of force it to carry on. I mean, I might go back to it one day just to give it another replay through, but I'm kind of just hoping that they do a single player,
Yeah.
like 5 probably, because 76 was just pure co-op, which was, I mean, the storyline was actually not that bad. Like,
The storyline was very single player.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
For a multiplayer game.
for a long
Yeah.
time until they obviously forced the multiplayer stuff. But it's just all about open world, to be honest. Like, hands down, it's probably the funnest because you can just choose, especially with like the special system. Your gameplay will be affected by that alone, rather than the choices you pick. So having that, and then that also allows you to be able to unlock other choices, and it's just, yeah, it's silly, man. It's a powerful game.
But
Nice.
go on, Mike, because I cut in front of you.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. My number 2 is probably the most in terms of being new and contemporary. Whatever, it's probably the more modern one on my list. But it's The Last of Us, the first one, which I know is an easy pick, but it's
Still haven't played that.
Gone.
I was close to having Last of Us on mine as well, but it's good. The second one, I still don't think it's as bad. There's issues with it,
Yeah.
but it's not as. I think as time goes on, it's going to become more of a beloved game.
I agree. I think
it just needs that vesting period.
I think just to quickly I'll go back to the first one in a second,
Yeah.
but just to quickly give Last of Us 2 its props. I think Last of Us 2 suffers from being a sequel that comes out so long after the first game, and the problem is the first game being such a smash hit as well that this was always. I think this reaction for Last of Us 2 is always going to be the case. People were just going to find things to go I'm not going to go into spoilers because that is a new game, and it came out this year. So if people haven't had a chance to play it yet, then I don't want to spoil major plot points, especially if no one's even played the first one as well. Because I thought they do tie in together. But when the big major thing that happens in the second game that people had such a big issue with, for me, from a story basis, it made complete sense. And there was other issues with that game that probably needed to be highlighted more, but just weren't. But obviously, that doesn't get clicks on your little gaming blogs, does it? So
No, so what you said that the
Don't
event.
all my gaming blog.
Yeah.
That's small.
Sorry, mate.
in reference to the event, I have no issue with that. I think it was a smart move. They basically had to do that at some point. But I kind of agree that in some points it did feel kind of pandery. It was pandering to certain. It's just it's really hard to talk about without sounding like a fucking triggered fucking gamer boy. But it's it wasn't the things that they did that I don't think was the issue. It's how they did it.
Okay.
There's the story plot points. If they just reshuffled a few things, I think the progression of the game was too divided. They should have implemented it much better.
I in terms of because it splits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I agree.
It felt too clunky. You spent way too much time, you go all the way through it. And you're like, okay, then let's do a whole other thing instead. And you're and then the whole time you're doing this whole other thing, you're like, I want to get back to the original thing. Come on. Yeah.
That I completely agree with. With regards to the first one though, in terms of why it's made, and it's just the first one that's made my list. I haven't put it in as a game series. It's the first one. I think. Again, I say it's an obvious pick because everyone loved it so much, and everyone, it was game of the year, and IGN gave it 10 out of 10, all this sort of stuff. But it is genuinely, it's one of the very few things for me that lives up to the hype. Playing it through for the first time after seeing the odd play, because with a game like that, because obviously it was quite pricey at the time as well, and I was I'll watch the first half hour of it on playthrough, and and make a decision then, and then. Even though there's a major thing that happens in that first half hour that got spoiled for me, playing through the rest of the game and even experiencing that thing myself is just completely different than when you're actually just watching someone else play it on YouTube, if that makes sense. It's difficult to describe, but I
was say you saying it's quite groundbreaking. It was the first proper cinematic game, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I would go as far as to say, like, in terms of like, there's a reason everyone wanted it to be a film, and I'm like, that could be cool, but like, it kind of already is. But it's a film you can play as a video game,
I find when they try and turn games into films and stuff like that, they usually fuck it up. And
that's the thing.
Going like,
whereas Last of Us for me is fucking perfect, and it shouldn't be meddled with or anything. Like, and it's genuinely like I don't give a fuck about it. I mean, it's generally one of the only, if not probably the only video game that actually made me cry. Like, genuinely, there's nothing. The storyline is that it's such an impact like with the storyline and stuff that it just it got to me, and very, very unique experience playing a video game for me. I feel like when playing that, so that's why it's my number 2. And it's something as well, just quickly, it's something that I generally like. I completed it. I don't think I went back to play it for like another year or so, but like for the weeks after I completed it, I just found myself sat there thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like when you watch a really good film. It's like just to quickly like go off topic a little bit. Like when I first saw Joker, I watched Joker, and for like the next 2 weeks, I was just sat there every now and then, just being like, "What the fuck have I just watched?" Do you know what I mean? Like, just thinking about certain parts of it. Like, so
I remember on topic of films, the one that did that to me was Blade Runner 2099.
I haven't seen that. No,
I haven't seen that yet, and I want to watch that.
The ending, just like for the next couple of weeks, I was just like, man, that's a thing that's sticking with me for a while.
Is it that meme of is it Pablo Escobar? It's like all these little pictures where he's on a beach and just looking. Like,
it was exactly that. I was like, I've got a lot to think about for a long time now.
Take 2 weeks off work.
Yeah.
It's like, why aren't you in? I just saw Blade Runner 29. Take all the time you need.
Okay, right. Well, I'm just I'm aware of the time because I realize it's 10:20. So let's go for our number 1s. So Bleach, what's your top
round?
pick?
Oh, that was Fallout. So it's Fallout.
Of course it was. Sorry, mate. Of course it was.
Go on, lightning round.
Number 1. It's a tough one. Can I just chuck in a quick couple of honourable mentions?
Go for it.
So honourable mentions.
You would want
I'm going to say Final Fantasy VIII, which is the first Final Fantasy game I played.
Fucking weeb.
Don't judge me for it, all right? Just accept me for who I am.
Absolute fucking weeb.
Accept me for the weeb I am. This was a tough one. It was a tie between these two, right? But I think honourable mention number 2's got to go to Tekken 2. It was the
fucking weeb.
first game I ever played on console. Like, because that was the first console I had was PlayStation 1. Fucking great game. But I think my favourite game is probably going to be Siphon Filter 1. Holy shit. Great game.
Great game.
Yeah.
Like a Siphon Filter.
Absolute great game.
I've never fucking heard that game in my whole life.
Siphon Filter, yeah.
It was like a PlayStation 1 third-person shooter. And like the brief storyline is like there's this guy and he's like a terrorist and he set up these fucking virus bombs around America and you're going in, you're defusing these bombs and it fucking turns out that your boss is like involved in it and shit. It's fucking mental. And you're going around fucking shooting grenade launchers at terrorists and stuff. It's sick. It was one of the bosses is a French guy with a flamethrower. You got to blow him up. It's nuts. It's such a good game.
Sounds like Crash Bandicoot.
A little bit to be desired.
Sounds like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, you got fucking Dial Flamethrower, you got Dingo Dial, he's got a flamethrower.
Exactly.
It's the same fucking game. Fucking got a little guy putting bombs, you got fucking Cortex and bombs and fucking crystals.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a reskin, basically. But
yeah. Basically, Crash Bandicoot's the furry version.
Appreciate Siphon Filter.
Yeah.
Nice. Niche pick. I like
Very
it.
niche
I
pick.
like it.
That's
How I got much of a game, man.
I want to see a remastered version of that. That'd be fucking quality.
That'd be sick. That would make a good film, to be fair.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's your top one, Scott?
Oh, my top one. It was going to be Ocarina of Time, but I would have paired that with Breath of the Wild, purely with playing it on stream. Just the lead up to the last Ganon fight was just like, I don't know. My adrenaline was up. I was just like, I was ready to fight I was fight anything on that moment. But it was so heroic. Like when all just everything forced into one thing. I was like,
there's one bit I remember from you streaming that. I think you're in a boat or something, and you're playing. Oh, I punched Mike. I've done it the second time in a week. I've done that. But you're in a boat or something. You're fighting this boss, and you just blow up or something, and you just stop and go, "Blow yourself up." That's the only thing I remember from you.
I mean, that's clips, right? But if I was going to go paired, purely for the amount of hours that I've put into it, would be Rocket League. Would be my other one.
Wow.
But that's purely because I've never had a game that you can only get like you don't get better unless you play more of it, and it's just like the learning curve of that game is ridiculously high, and I just think I'm
going to make a shout with Rocket League. I'm going to make it could be potentially controversial, but I don't care, it's my opinion. But like, so you know how like in recent years esports, is like getting bigger and bigger and whatnot, and different games have different esports. Like, so just throw out there, FIFA in the current state of FIFA is in for esports, garbage. I don't think that I don't think games like Call of Duty or I know the reasons why people like games like Counter-Strike as an esport. I don't personally get it. For me, best game for an esport is Rocket League. Because I could watch a few hours of Rocket League esports like I would watch a football game, and like that moment, that goal scored by what's his name? Is it Jason or something like that?
Is that like the 15 seconds over the timer?
It was like it was like ball hadn't touched the ground there for like 15 seconds, and he pulls off like some mad like ceiling flip reverse shot to like take it to OT. It's just mad, mad drama.
I think I would like to go to like once COVID's down to watch an esports in the arena, because they have the arenas with the big fucking screens and all that shit, and then you got obviously
crowds like got their own songs
and the geezers chatting, "This is Rocket League," and it's like fucking everyone's going absolutely nuts. I feel like I'd be mega old being there, but I feel like I wouldn't give a shit. If I had a 2-pinter of beer, I'd be like,
can you imagine being in the stadium? I think it was like Dignitas versus like I can't remember the other team. I think the guy's name was Justin. But like, imagine being in that arena when that goal happens, and like I said, everyone just lose their fucking mind.
Oh yeah,
and then they fuck up and lose it on OT.
It's generally as fun as watching a football game. I just think it's like that whole aspect would be so like I think we missed out on the last one they had in London. They had one like a couple of years ago in London, just before we all kind of got into it. But I would love for that to come. If that come around again to London, I'll be like, right, just take my money. I'll be like, Shannon, we go.
That'd be great.
And then
Again,
I'll be standing with
my
phone
finger.
As well. I'll be a lot.
big fucking
and a big daddy fucking sheriff hat.
two big
I'll say this as well, like given that before I go into my number one pick, but like bear in mind that three of us sat here have taken part or taken part in the qualifiers for RLCS. The skill level is
we are not
ridiculous.
Like
we got
people think like when they watch like some of the plays we do, they're like I had some people like when I was doing some casual games, I was playing this aerials enough, and they were like, "Oh, you're really good. Like, what level are you?" And I'm like, "I am not. I'm like mid-weight. I'm with the average amount of people. Like,
it's not our fault they're fucking virgins, right?
Nah, that was a madness. We got slapped up like different.
Oh yeah, we got
that was embarrassing. Like,
it was like I think it was like after like 40 seconds, the third goal got in the first game, and I was like, "Oh, it's just gonna be a long 20 minutes."
I remember watching you guys stream it when you were like practicing for the qualifiers, and I was like, "Yeah, they're doing well."
We were in such good
we
form.
really were.
We really fucking convinced ourselves.
I know.
You had me convinced. I was like, "They're fucking. My boys are gonna win this shit."
We're going all the way to the championships. No, I just think like
we even had it mapped out. I remember we're like, "Oh, if we get into like the knockout." For like qualifying things again, like the knockout brackets, we could like get through back of that, and it's just like
what was like mad, like when I was thinking about it afterwards, like in retrospect, was the amount of kind of like scrims we were doing, like playing freeze, and we were generally like we've dipped a bit now, but we were getting really fucking good because we were playing non-stop.
That's the best we've ever played, I think.
Some of the plays we had were just absolutely silly, but that was nothing compared to the scrims that these other people have who are trying to make it into like RLCS or RLRS, and it's just ridiculous. Like, because
it's like being the best football team in like the fourth division, but if you go and play Barcelona, you're getting spanked.
And that wasn't the realization that I had till about a week after. No. So I was like, "Fuck's sake, we played like shit." And I was like, "No, we didn't. We played really well. It was just we weren't as good as the other team, and it was like hard pill to swallow kind of thing.
I think a better comparison is we was the best team on the playground,
Yeah.
and then we went into the Premier League and was like, this is a thing, isn't it?
No, that's a great shout. Rocket League is definitely not everyone I considered. That's a really good shout. I think
it was just purely for the hours we put into
Yeah.
it. Like that's probably my most played game, like on Steam, and I have a lot, like hundreds of games on Steam. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
I would say for mine, just a couple of honourable mentions. Well, one really, because I think if anyone's watching who's watched me and will be going, "How have you not picked this for your number one?" It's not Football Manager because that is a game series. There's no like one individual Football Manager game that I'm like. It's a series. It's a series. Like, but as a game, it is my favourite game series. But it's not my. There's not one. There's not like. It's not. I'm going to go. Or actually, Championship Manager 2005 was my favourite because you know what I mean. Like
My favourite spreadsheet.
and I own my Twitch channel to Football Manager, so I've got to give him a shout out. But like, for me, number one, it has to be. It's Metal Gear Solid 1. Like I went just for that particular game. Like the series as a whole. To pick up on Scott's earlier points, I really enjoyed 4, and I thought the ending was just stupid. But for pure nostalgia trip was great.
The ending
like,
where
they
they jab each other in the necks and then the bars go to the older.
Yeah, and then it goes to a different liquid from a different game, and it's like this is so dumb. It doesn't make any sense, but I love it. Like inject it into my veins. But MGS1, I played it through again like last year, and it still holds up. Like
is there a remaster of it?
I think they're planning on making one for the PS5. I think.
So
I don't know if that's been confirmed.
You can play a remastered version of it if you have. I'm not promoting this or anyway, but the Dolphin emulator, which is it's like the N64 one, but you can get the Metal Gear Solid Sony version, and it ports it across, so it gives you it's not as grainy, it's quite smooth,
right.
And it's quite good to run. That's what I last played. I think I played it last year on the emulator from there, and it was.
Do you know what's mad with MGS though? Like the original PS1 version is like, even though like graphically like there's no facial expressions, they look like Minecraft characters most of the time. Like they're just very blocky. But like, because the voice acting is so good, because the dialogue is so good, you don't really see it. Do you know what I mean? You sort of understand the expressions and what all the characters are going through, and you see them as real people. And like, there's just so many iconic moments from that game, man. Like the staircase level where you're like going up every flight of stairs. There's a horde of like soldiers coming through, and like by the 5th time you do anything, I've only got chaff grenades. I can't do anything. And then like, I think the first time I did it, I ran out of stuff, so I literally just fucking punched a couple and just sprinted through. And obviously, yeah, the sniper wall fight, there's like 10 helicopter fights or something silly like that. It's ridiculous. And like Hayden said, like the little Easter eggs or little things like, you know,
like the
little
way
things.
Psycho Mantis is to use your controller in PlayStation Port 2. Who?
That's the thing. Yeah, and like, check the back of your CD case. Like, you start the game with a disc in your inventory, and I was trying to select the disc of like, I can't turn this around. What do you mean? Like, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
There's I think literally my brother walked in like a week later. I was like, no, she's on the back of the actual case, like where the game comes in.
Yeah.
Like, oh. And just stuff like that, man. I mean, no, I don't think any game can do that now because people would just go, well, yeah, he did that because Metal Gear Solid. But like, it was just, what other games did that?
It's true. Like for that time,
you know, and it's just so fucking good. And like the final fight scene on top of Metal Gear Solid, like the whole Grey Fox bit, you know, and it's just fantastic. And
is that where it comes from?
Yes.
You fucking weeb.
No, I back it. It.
It's a good name. It's
a great name.
It didn't actually come from the game.
Grey Fox.
It came from there was this guy did like a YouTube parody of it, like a cartoon parody.
It's so good.
Oh, I remember
Metal Gear
that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It all goes quiet, and he just goes, "Grey Fox," and I was like, "That is me now."
Yeah. And it's and just to give shout outs to like especially MGS2 and MGS3, like as a trilogy of games, like they're all great. Especially MGS2, like with I know there was a with Raiden, like who I think Raiden got a lot of shit as not being a great character. I thought he was
good,
really good.
Yeah.
And I know Scott, you might better tell the story, but I know was it the bit in MGS2? I think you know where I'm going with this, with the Colonel. I think you might be, and
Yeah,
your
so
dad, right?
My
When
dad
playing
was
it.
playing MGS2. I think when you get to the arsenal, where you basically get, you have to do the tap circle to survive the electrocution and whatnot. You're in the arsenal, and then Snake comes and saves you. But as you're kind of going through there, the colonel gives you a call to say, like, you need to turn off the game. So without thinking, my dad went, all right, turn it off. I think it was like a Metal Gear Solid trick to like not turn off the game or whatever. And he actually turned it off. And he obviously, where he didn't save it, he put him back fucking well far behind, and he had to do it all again. That was fun.
man.
Yeah.
The only other one similar to that I could think of was I was playing the first one, and I think I was stuck in the bit where you get captured and you get put in prison, and I was there for like ages, and like this Dr. Emmerich or Otacon, sorry, comes along and is like, I can't help you, mate. Sorry, here's a bottle of ketchup and a tissue, and I'm like,
Fuck, I'm going to do this.
what the fuck do I do? Like, I'm just stuck, and I think literally about a week. I just put the game away for like a week, and I was like, I can't be after this. It must be broken or something. I think Scott came around. I was like, oh, we'll play some Metal Gear. I was like, you can probably help me with this level. Actually, he just went, did you know about it, or was it a guess? With the ketchup.
Oh, I think I just guessed it.
Yeah, he just went, let me quickly press R2 with the ketchup equipped, and obviously it looks like you start bleeding. So the guard then comes in, opens the door, and I was like, never would have put that together. Like,
That is a proper fucking madness. That game.
yeah, man. I just don't, and I think that's why I'm so annoyed at how bad MGS5 was, because it's like open world. It being open world is the least of. It's not the worst thing about the game, but I don't think a Metal Gear game should be open world. Personally, I think what makes Metal Gear great is the fact it's like a cinematic, again, story-driven sort of thing. So the fact that it's open world with just your cutscene here and there, and then you just get more fucking soldiers on your little base, and then there's a character who doesn't speak, and then like you said, you get through half through the game where obviously I think Hideo Kojima left or whatever, and then they went, well, what the fuck do? We need to get the game out, and they just went, all right, let's make them replay every level they've played already, but on extreme difficulty.
I do think though, if PlayStation reworked MGS1, the war between Xbox and PlayStation, PS5 would just go for the roof. Like,
I would buy a PS5 to play a remastered MGS1.
It's worth the £400 to play that game on a remastered thing. It's just ridiculous.
I would do it.
Then don't let them know. You never get
Sony!
Hands down, you've got my vote. If I'll buy one, like,
Yeah.
Take my money.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm going to make one very quick request, because I'm sure Mike's going to mention that we're running over a tiny bit.
We're running over a little bit, but go for it.
Just for segue, can we watch that the bunk bed video? Because I can guarantee with sound on, you will all fucking love it.
Okay. Let me.
That's gonna be my one hard recommendation. It's in the topics.
Oh yeah.
Or links.
The Reddit link, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just blown out now.
Right.
No, I'll wait for Scott to give me the all clear.
Yeah, let me chuck it on screen. 1 second.
You just know, just from the thumbnail, you know.
It's got a bit too big.
I wasn't expecting it to like tickle me that much.
Make it a little bit bigger.
There you go.
Right, where's the sound? There you go. Right.
It already looks.
Yeah. Go on.
I have to just play. Let me just reload that one.
What the fuck?
Oh Lord!
Hang on.
As if the noise of him hitting the deck wasn't funny enough. The noise he makes. Oh my God!
There's someone asleep on that bunk as well. Oh wow!
Oh my god. Oh my Christ.
Probably really hurt as well.
you just hear.
And that is why you always put bars on the edge of bunk beds to avoid that sort of shit.
A fact about the bunk bed, right? So I used to have a bunk bed in my old room, where it was it was a higher bed, and then it was like a pull-out couch bit on the bottom bit. So when I was younger, I used to sleepwalk, and somehow I managed to
Weird.
get out of the, like, climb over the bed, but just fall flat on my face. So obviously there was a big, like, loud crash and fucking bang, whatever. So my mum's come rushing in, but because obviously there was a couch on the bottom bit, I just got up and then just rolled onto the bottom bit and fell back asleep. Didn't wake up, and then woke up and I fractured my arm. I didn't even realise until I woke up the next morning, and I was like, you know, you think I woke up and I thought, fucking hell, my arm hurts. What happened there? Like, there's no recollection of it, and then just my mum was like, "Did you hurt yourself?" And I was like, "Fucking broke my arm."
I love the fact you were so tired or like so enjoying your sleep, you fractured your arm and just went,
Yeah.
I like
Just
how
fell it and went, come back to bed.
I like how you just have a habit of fracturing and
Yeah,
breaking
it's
arms.
fucking bad. I don't think it was the
God,
same
yeah.
place actually. No, it was in the same arm, but it's probably why it was weak.
That might be a story
hell.
for another episode,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I think I have to.
Yeah. Well,
I haven't arm wrestled anybody since that happened. I'm terrified.
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. I
I can't
can't.
even watching arm wrestling videos.
I wasn't even fucking there. And after that story, I'm like, yeah, I'm never doing it.
Oh, mate. If we want, whether it be next episode or a future episode, I can give you an eyewitness account because that was grim.
bloody hell.
But yeah, I think that just about wraps it up. I think. Just want to say thank you everyone who's watched. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed a little chat about some of our favourite video games from times gone by. I'm sure we'll be back. I'm guessing next Friday, if not the Friday after. But in the next 2 weeks, we will definitely be back.
Probably,
live on here. And also, I imagine. I mean, Bleach is probably a better place to ask this. Is there a plan with a YouTube channel?
Yes, the YouTube stuff will start coming. Real time would be over this weekend, but that's for last week's episode. So there is on you. If you are watching this over YouTube, there is a week delay between when episodes go live to when they're fully released on YouTube. So if you do want to catch us in advance, watch us on Twitch at the link down below in the description.
Yes, and make sure if you have enjoyed what you've been watching so far, obviously drop that, hit the follow button. Obviously, it costs nothing, and it shows that you're all enjoying it, which is really good. So yeah, that'll do it from us. Until next time, thank you all so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Beautiful.